So we're ready with the news. And our first story, the minority in parliament says government decision to establish the Ghana Amalgamated Trust to help some local banks meet minimum capital is illegal. The NDC MP say they will not support plans by government to get parliamentary approval for a 2 billion Ghana cedi sovereign bond for the initiative. The finance minister laid a document in parliament requesting approval for the sovereign guarantee before the beginning of the weekend, and it has been referred to the Finance Committee. But Deputy Minority Leader James Kluche Avaji says unless government properly establishes the trust by seeking parliamentary approval, they will not back the request for a sovereign guarantee.
There are few issues that need to be clarified, and the committee is still working on that. I think the committee is demanding a number of documentation. First of all, the GAT is alien to Parliament. We don't know what is GAT. Okay? Ghana Consolidated Trust Limited. Amalgamated Trust Limited. Is it a company established by who? Parliament knows nothing about that. So why do you introduce a company that is alien to Parliament for Parliament to work for us to give a guarantee, a sovereign guarantee for that company to go and borrow? So that's the fair legal thing need to be clarified, is that what is that company?
Have they brought it in?
No, they haven't. They haven't brought it. So those are some of the requirements of the minority. Before government can do anything of that nature, it must be approved by Parliament. Parliament, nothing has come to Parliament for approval.
For the GATT arrangement to be approved by
Parliament, yes, by Parliament. You know, when they went for the bond for the ESLA, the venture, the vehicle that they used to raise funds, special purpose vehicle they used to raise funds for the energy sector. It was based on the energy sector levy that will pass by Parliament. So we have source of funding. So if they use that as a legal basis to go and raise bond or loan, that is acceptable. Here, we have not established or given the authority to government to establish any company for Ghana. And why do you come to Parliament asking Parliament to give you approval for that company, which Parliament has not given any approval to go and establish, to give guarantee to that company to go and borrow money?
So for you, that is an illegal entity that you wouldn't
support.
We
That thing should be done. Parliament cannot give approval for a company that we don't know anything about to go and borrow.
Now, Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta will on Wednesday face Parliament over the collapse of UT and Capital Banks. He was expected to appear before the House last Friday to respond to a question by Bolgatanga Central MP Isaac Adongo on how much government has paid to GCB Bank for taking over some assets of both banks. Deputy Majority Leader Joa Safo says there was a miscommunication to him, and he has indicated he will be available this week to answer the question.
I have a formal letter from the Minister indicating that, Mr. Speaker, he apologizes that he can't be here today due to the miscommunication, and that he has proposed the 13th of March to be here. Mr. Speaker, unfortunately, the Minister is also out of the jurisdiction with a few of his deputies. And so, Mr. Speaker, respectfully, we want to indulge your good self and the other side to allow the Minister appear rather on the 13th that has been proposed in the said letter. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The opportunity, Mr. Speaker. First of all, we want the Minister himself to come to the House to answer these questions. And secondly, we always see the Minister here when he stands in the dispatch box to present the budget statement. Or you see him seated behind the leader using his hand to support his job. But we want to see him come to the dispatch box to answer questions. These 4 questions keep appearing on the other paper and disappearing. This is not the first time. These 4 questions appear and disappear on the other paper. So the 13th that he himself proposed, Mr. Speaker, we will accept it. And we want to see him here, not a deputy, any of his deputies, he himself, to come and answer these questions. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now let's go to the Central Region, where the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has assured his government remains committed to the development of a free, fair society in which all persons, irrespective of economic circumstances and social barriers, are able to access education, acquire skills, and also contribute effectively to the progress and prosperity of Ghana. According to the President, the NPP government will spare no effort in ensuring that the free SHS policy succeeds. Speaking at the 109th anniversary of Adisado College in Cape Coast, the President said the construction of new facilities and the expansion of the existing ones in the 400 schools running the double-track system are currently progressing steadily.
Speaking on the investment his government is making in education, he expressed his delight that any young boy or girl from any part of the country who applies himself diligently can, in spite of his circumstances, dream of also becoming an achiever and contribute to the growth and development of the country. Like the examples of some countries of East Asia have shown, the President noted that key to the creation of progress and prosperity is the process of industrialization and value addition activities. The introduction of the double-track calendar system, the President stressed, is a temporary measure aimed at ensuring that no student was denied the opportunity to further his or her education.
Ghana is proud to be a part of the nations in the world, granting unfettered access to senior high school education to all school-going children, a path that has been trodden by successful nations like the United States of America, Singapore, Finland, Canada, Japan, Korea, and Malaysia. The introduction of the double-track system is a temporary measure aimed at ensuring that no student is denied the opportunity to further his or her education. The construction of new facilities and expansion of existing ones in the 400 high schools running double-track are progressing steadily, made possible by a $1.5 billion United States Get Fund securitization initiative. Within 2 weeks, contracts are going to be awarded for the construction of a 2-story classroom block and a 2-story dormitory block here as a double-track facility intervention. This will be in addition to the completion of the dormitory block and the classroom block, about which much has been spoken.
On the news of a recent misunderstanding between the board and management of Adisado on one hand and the Ghana Education Service on the other, over the removal of the headmaster of the school, the President described it as unnecessary.
Chairperson, I have to strike a somber note. The news of a recent misunderstanding between the board and management of Adisado on one hand and the Ghana Education Service on the other was unnecessary. As the body charged with managing schools, the authority and directives of GES cannot be disregarded without introducing anarchy into our educational system. The recent impasse between the GS and Adisado should not and must not reoccur. There are more appropriate channels of addressing problems than resulting to open spats in the media.
In recognition of Adisado's 109th anniversary and in commemoration of his visit, President Akufo-Addo stated that Get Fund would be instructed to complete the ceremonial building in which today's ceremony was conducted and to replace the bust the authorities of the school complained about. Richard Kwejo-Nyako, JoyNews, Cape Coast.
And we still stay in the Central Region. The Center for Gender Research, Advocacy and Documentation at the University of Cape Coast wants government to provide a more robust system to ensure the safety and security of women and children in Ghana. According to the center, the 3 kidnapped girls in Takrady and the numerous spousal abuses women suffer should be a wake-up call to strengthen issues about safety and security of women and girls. Pro-Vice-Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast, Professor Francisca Dora Edu-Buando, says a lot needs to be done to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals about women and children. Richard Kojunyaku again with this report.
My name is Priscilla Kolibiaman. As an academic, I'm expected to teach, to do research, and then to do some community service. So a typical day will involve me going to class to teach whatever topics I have for the day. So we've heard of the compound paradoxin. The GABA receptor is a ligand-gated ion channel. Anxiety and epilepsy, where there's excessive excitation. Then occasionally I come to the lab to oversee undergraduate work and see how we are progressing on that front. And then typically I'd have project students who are in the 4th year of their program. So I'd have meetings with them and help to direct them on how to perform their experiments to achieve their aims, which they've set out for the year. Okay, so he's doing very well. Yes. Wish the mouse luck.
After her first degree in 2008, Dr. Mante developed interest in neuropharmacology, a study of how drugs affect cellular function in the nervous system and the mechanisms through which they affect behavior. She focused on investigating isolated medicinal compounds for activity against resistant epilepsy.
People still believe that epilepsy is caused by evil spirits, but then there are clear scientific reasons as to why people develop epilepsy, and there are ways that it can be managed if we apply our science. So I'm looking at adopting traditional medicine because it is local to our society. Honestly,
she is a registered pharmacist and a member of several professional bodies, including the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana. She is a recipient of various research grants, including the University of Michigan STEM Seed Grant. She is a fellow of the University of Michigan Presidential Scholars Program. She is also a member of the Women in Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics Ghana, WSTEM-GH. As a founding member of the Ghana Young Academy and the Ghana Neuroscience Society, Dr. Mante shows how science can be demystified for more girls to take it up.
I believe if we introduce our young women to female scientists who are succeeding at science, it will be a source of motivation, one, and it would also help them to understand that science is not a strange thing that happens in the lab. Science is actually everyday life.
For Joy News, Kwesi Deborah.
And that story was about one of the youngest senior lecturers at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. And in her early 30s, she's among 5 outstanding laureates and the only African to be honored for her contribution to science at the L'Oréal UNESCO for Women in Science International Award ceremony that was convened in Paris, France. But let's take you to the Upper West region. An ex-directorate of the Ghana Health Service has placed a temporary embargo on the transfer of critical staff, especially nurses. The measure, according to the Director of Health Services, Dr. Osei Kufuor Afre, is to beef up the staff strength of the various health facilities to deliver quality service. Dr. Osei Kufuor made the statement at the annual review conference of the Upper West Directorate of the Ghana Health Service in Wa. Rafiq Salam reports from the capital.
Annual reviews have been instituted in the Ghana Health Service as an important milestone in the service calendar at all levels. The 2018 review therefore started at the low level through to sub-district, district, regional, and will be climaxed at the national level. The review meeting is aimed at sharing their performance against set target for service delivery with all stakeholders, sharing best practices and innovations, augmenting service delivery at all levels amid challenges, and charting the next steps for the year as they strive to improve service delivery across board. The review meeting was held on the theme, The Role of Quality Data in Achieving Universal Health Coverage. It was attended by major stakeholders in the health sector, including district directors of health, medical directors and superintendents of the various district hospitals, traditional rulers, pharmacists, development partners, and civil society organizations. For the umpteenth time, the issue of doctors and other critical health workers refusing posting to the Upper West region, though financial clearance has been sought for them, came to the fore. Upper West Regional Director of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Osei Kofor-Afre, is deeply concerned about the situation.
Doctors especially, as well as critical staff, refuse posting to the region for many reasons. The few that accept posting to the region leave serving a little over 1 year to pursue further studies. Hence, the region lacks currently very experienced doctors for service delivery. Currently, about 15 doctors are in school, and we are hoping that under the bond that they have signed with the region, they will be made available to the region after completion of their study to work in the Upper West region.
Dr. Osei Kofor said they have taken steps to put a lid on the transfer of critical staff, especially nurses, out of the Upper West region.
Staff posting out of the region still remains very high, while posting into the region is on a low side. This has led to a strong decision, though not pleasant, by management to put a temporary embargo on postings outside the region until further notice, while adhering strictly to the human resource policies on transfers and postings in the Ghana Health Service.
Deputy Upper West Regional Minister Amidu Chine Isaku was not pleased with the recent survey conducted by civil society organization Community-Based Alliance on the attitude of health workers in the 3 regions of the North and urged them to change over a new leaf.
I wish to cite a recent study done by Community Development Alliance and its partners in the Northern, Upper East and Upper West region, which suggests that some health professionals in the region are perceived not only by patients, but by also health staff to be engaging in petty corrupt acts in our facilities. Let us all be vigilant in our offices and health facilities to ensure that our staff do not take advantage of poor patients or clients who visit their facilities for services. Let us all avoid such negative practices in our places of work and discharge our duties professionally.
Reporting for JoyNews, Rafiq Salam. Wow.
And that's it for the latest news update we have. But look, we have great things to share with you. By way of news, we'll do a review of the newspapers. And today also we'll be visiting our regular Facebook page, bring to you what you have posted there by way of your comments.
Yeah, we'll bring you some traffic updates as well here on the AM show. So whatever you do, stay with us. We'll be back with the newspapers.